Hare Krishna, everyone. All right, the big day is there. We're starting with the tale of two brains. Right. So there is this Christian pastor turned relationship counselor, Mark Ganga. He has this quite nice series of love your way to a better marriage. Right? It's a entertaining mass marriage counseling session over a few days, I think it goes, and one of the parts is a tale of two brains, where he describes the differences of the way men and women think, how the brain works, and obviously it's done in a entertaining way. I have the link in the description below if you want to watch it yourself. And he has quite some relevant points, but if you want to watch the whole series, just be warned, Christians have different regulative principles than we do, and my wife and I, we call him the lusty pastor for some reason. Okay, so just be warned. Even though topics he talks about are relevant, we have to, we're dealing with that in our outreach attempts as well. We have to understand where people come from. I've been working in a nightclub for 7 years. I know where I'm coming from, okay? So we have to deal with those topics as well. Well, just in a different manner. We have to draw different conclusions than he does. Just as a warning, if you like that short clip and you look him up and watch a little bit more. So there has to be some maturity and understanding of our approach there. Otherwise you may get a bit confused. Now, what is it all about? What's the difference between a male brain and a female brain? Well, for our presentation we will focus mainly, not because men are more important, but it's more important for the presentation overall to understand. We focus mainly on the male brain, the female brain as well to start with, but you will see at the end of the presentation why that is. So please bear with me, be patient, and it's no value judgment at all attached here, right? So a male brain is made out of boxes, right? And there's a box for everything. A box for the wife, a box for the children, for child 1, for child 2, and so on. Separate boxes, a box for the house, a box for the car, a box for the work. Okay, there's a box for basically anything in a man's mind, in a man's brain. Okay, and those boxes are nicely stacked in a shelf, and they're not touching, right? They're not touching each other. One box has nothing to do with the other box. Okay, and if a man talks about something or thinks about something, he takes that particular box out, opens it, looks inside, and he discusses only what's in that box. Okay? And there's no connection to any other box. Right? The wife has nothing to do with the children. As funny as it may seem for a female mind. But that's the case. The wife is the wife, box, and the child is the child, box. Okay? That's how a male brain is structured and organized. Okay? Whereas a female brain is structured differently. Now he compares it to a ball of wire, where everything is connected to everything. Okay? Yeah. As we know. And the whole brain, the whole ball of wire is energized, is driven by this energy called emotion. Right? That's why women also remember everything so well, because everything is connected to everything, and everything is connected to an emotion. And we know when memory is connected to emotion, right? It burns itself into the hard drive, into the memory, and we can't forget. That's also true for men. However, we don't care so much about many things. So there's not much emotion attached to many things, to little things. Doesn't mean men doesn't have emotion. It's just, right? We don't care so much about even how we feel, right? There are two feelings basically. Oh well, we feel good and not so good. That's about it, black and white, very simple, on a daily basis anyway. But let's go back to the brain. So we can already see there are quite some differences here. But the differences become very apparent in the way we deal with stress. Okay? When a man is stressed, well, he goes to a very special box. He has a very favorite box. And that's called the nothing box. And guess what? There's nothing inside. Nothing. Okay? So when he's stressed, and at any opportunity, he goes into that box, right? Leaning back, closing all the other boxes, opening that nothing box, and having a deep breath, switching off. No worries. And this is the box he's seeking when he is stressed. Closing all the other boxes and opening that nothing box. Gives him relief, rests the brain, and he can literally think nothing. And that's hard for a woman to understand, for a lady to understand, because her brain is constantly going. The wires, the energy always flows. Apparently, because I don't understand it, right? Apparently that's the case. That men, I know that because I'm in a male body, can think nothing, right? And apparently they did even tests with that, putting some, measuring the brain waves and so on, and the brain activity was near zero, and the man was still breathing. It doesn't happen with a woman. The brain activity cannot be so low and she's still alive, apparently. Okay? So that's a big difference. So a man deals with stress by switching off, closing all the other boxes, shoving them in the shelf, opening the nothing box, and relaxes. Okay? Say at work, a man comes home, all stressed, he may have to relieve himself a little bit of pressure, like a pressure cooker, there's the safety valve, you have to push it a few times till the pressure is low again, making sure it's not exploding. Okay, so the man does the same thing. This customer, that customer, my boss here, this devotee, that devotee. That means there's now enough pressure release so he can shove that box, that work box, back into the shelf, put the lid on, and the lid hopefully stays closed, has the hands still there for a moment, make sure it doesn't just pop out again like a jack-in-the-box sort of thing, and then once he's sure that box stays where it is, he opens that nothing box and leans back and relaxes. And then once he's relaxed, once the blood is, the adrenaline levels have been decreased, the blood is not boiling anymore and so on. Maybe it takes, if it's really big issues, it may take a few days. But right? Maybe just half an hour. Really depends on the situation. Right? When the blood is cool, whenever then it's already all forgotten. It's all solved. And whenever he needs to open that box again, the work box, for example, he opens the box, looks in, sorts it out, closes it, and it's all sorted. That's how male brain works. That's how men deal with stress. Shove it away. Open a nothing box and relief. Whereas women deal differently with stress. Women deal with stress by talking about it. And that's very hard for men to understand. But a woman needs to talk about it. how she feels about that, and somehow or other that seems to help making those connections, connecting the wire to the certain emotions, and she has to just figure out where to connect the wires. And somehow or other, the tongue, the vibration of the tongue helps with that, and the eyes seeing that the other person is understanding. Right? So it's a mystery for man how that can help in the first place, and how that could work, because it's just doesn't fit at all our patterns or brain patterns, how we work, how a male brain works. It's a mystery, right? Simply because, just to give the male side on that, if we talk about something, that box has to be open. And if that box is a big mess, and we talk about it, the mess doesn't sort itself out. What happens is, when we talk about our work, and this boss or this customer, and this and that and that and that, it's gonna be going over and over and over again in our minds, and the adrenaline glands, they're on high alert. They're just producing adrenaline, and more our blood becomes hotter and hotter and boiling, and at one stage we would be exploding, right? Because simply talking about it doesn't do it. What we need is the blood to cool down. Shut the box, close it, put it out of the mind, away. And then later on it's like easy to simply open it up, sort it out, and forget about it. The blood has to cool down, right? And it doesn't work when the box is open. And that's already where so many misunderstandings happen. Right? We can probably already see, there's a big discrepancy. There's this big difference, which is just prone to cause misunderstandings. Right? And we will discover those next time. You can think already a little bit about it as a homework, but that's basically the differences of the male and female brain. I will add a little bit more to the function of the nothing box later on, but first of all, in the next session we'll discuss how how those misunderstandings happen, especially in stressful situations. And the misunderstanding is so easy to dissolve, as you will find out with me soon. So thanks so much for that, for your kind attention, and I'll see you again next time. Hare Krishna.